Don't forget to like and subscribe, and share your opinion down below. Our stories today are from the subreddit r/relationship advice. Check the description for the source and timestamps. 2 months after being broken up, my 30F ex 33M haven't told people and he's pretending we're together. We worked together, tiny company, and dated for around 5 months. We broke up in a very healthy, calm way. We were contemplating serious plans together but had very different views towards some things, so decided it was better to separate. We continued having a friendship. Some weeks after, we slept together and continued doing it for 3 weeks, until some of his behavior got me confused and angry. He's technically my boss, so lots of space for misunderstandings there. I wrote a post here that I deleted afterwards. It was my first time here and I felt weirdly exposed, but it was basically about me being confused and people were of the opinion I had catch feelings and he didn't and was just enjoying the free sex. It made sense and I was already feeling stupid, so I cut him off. No fights, but apparently was very cold of me. Since then we had a meeting where we fought, and when apparently I offended him a lot, no insults or nasty stuff, I was angry and expressed some things that I had inside for some time. Finally, between messages and another meeting, we fixed things. He's extremely composed and serious, doesn't show his feelings or get angry easily. I had a terrible experience with a psychopathic ex and now I'm super guarded. I absolutely believed that there was no way I could hurt him because he was only in for the fun, so I cut him before he could hurt me. When we spoke to solve things, he opened himself more and that even left me more confused, because it looked like he cares about me and was hurt. He was basically useless at work for a week and he's the most productive person ever. We are very attracted to each other and have to fight it every time we meet. He has even mentioned he's worried about what would happen if we would get other partners because he thinks we wouldn't be able to resist each other. We're not dating other people yet anyway. He has said he's scared of losing me, but being realistic, I guess he doesn't like me enough as to want to get back together. Otherwise he would ask. Apparently us not working out again and the impact on our lives later. Work together worries him. I'm suspicious he has made him and the company lose a huge project because the person involved is a male friend of mine and he's jealous. Ex told me he likes you, but again, not enough as to want to get back together? Some nights ago I called him at night for work. That's normal for us. He was at home with the people he lives with, cousins, friends, and he replied to me asking him if he could solve me a doubt in a minute or I could just pass by home now. It makes more sense. He meant my house. He used to spend weekends and some weekdays at my place and the guys he lives with know it. Him not spending any night outside of his house in a month may have raised questions, I guess. He has confessed me that he hasn't told most people we have broken up. Not their issue, so not technically a lie, and that he hasn't called me an ex yet. Looks like he would be happy sleeping together again, but I made clear that will not happen. I'm so confused with what he wants and I get the feeling he's confused too. How can I give him reassurance? I'm not sure what to tell you, OP, but I think the next comment got it well. Being straightforward is much better than keeping yourself in a loop of speculations. Make a choice. Follow through. If you want to be together, then work on that. If you think it best to let the breakup stand, then act like you've broken up. This means leaving no illusions as to where you stand. This means establishing some space so you can both get on with things. Sure, work is a complication and should have been a serious consideration before you both started, but that's water under the bridge. Not much you can do about it now. You're supposed to be professional at work, so go back to being that. If things can't function on that basis, one of you will have to be elsewhere. Being realistic, that's probably going to be the only sure fix in any case. My 21F boyfriend, 21M, has a toxic female best friend and I don't know what to ask of him. I never thought I would need to do this, but here I am. This might be a long one, so I appreciate you getting through it. So my 21F boyfriend, 21M, has a female best friend. Now, normally I would not care about this since my best friend is also a guy. but the entire situation has me so confused and upset. My boyfriend and I have been together for 3 months, but have known each other from primary school and recently got back in touch and started dating. And he told me that he had a female best friend that he used to like until a bit before he met me. He did this in an effort to be completely honest with me before asking me to be his girlfriend because he said he never wanted to lie to me. This already threw me off course, but he clarified that she rejected him and he had completely gotten over it before he tried dating and met me, and they took some time to work through it and remained friends. He introduced me to her and a bunch of his other friends about a month in, and I got along with all of them, even her for the most part. The issue is that every time I meet her she does these little things that read to me almost as if she is telling me that she has more hold over him than I do. For clarity, the female best friend will be S and my boyfriend will be D. So S will ask about my relationship with D, and when I would tell her things like, oh we went to the museum, she will say something like, oh I remember when he took me to the museum. We had so much fun and we spent the whole day together. Almost like a date, hahaha. It made me uncomfortable, but I'll let it go as me just being insecure and jealous about how he used to like her. She has also walked over and sat on his lap while I was sitting next to him. Now, this makes me uncomfortable for 2 reasons. She also has a boyfriend who seems a bit uncomfortable with this, and despite the fact that I have a guy best friend, I would never disrespect his girlfriend like that by getting overly physical with him. But this might just be a personal thing. It is worth noting that none of his other friends except for one like her, and they all think she is toxic. Now, D has never once shown any interest. When she playfully flirts he will respond normally and not flirt back. When she sat on his lap, he pushed her off, etc etc. He has also told her that she can't do these things anymore. He liked her doing them when he had feelings, but now that he is with me, it makes him confused and uncomfortable. She plays the "oh just cause you have a girlfriend now you are pushing me away" card. In my personal opinion, she seems like the kind of person who does not like a guy but still wants the guy to like her. Onto the main problem. Despite the fact that we are civil and even friendly to each other, I found out recently that she actively tried to stop my boyfriend from dating me when we first started going out. She also spread rumors about me to a mutual friend, but no one else as far as I know. She told my boyfriend that I was her friend's ex. Her friend and I matched on Bumble and talked for a while but never met in person. That I harassed him and his friends. His friends were trying to get me to hook up with him, and when he tried to ghost me I confronted them all about it. And that I am known at my school for being possessive and batshit psycho. An outright lie, cause she does not know anyone who goes to my school, and I have never dated anyone from my school. I was told that she said these things by a mutual friend, and when I told my boyfriend, he said that she did try to tell him these things but he didn't want to know, so he didn't know this stuff is what she meant. His friends also confirmed that she had actively tried to convince him not to date me and convince him that I was a rebound from her. I am conflicted because all of this happened before she met me in person, and my boyfriend has shown me texts of her telling him that she thinks I am great and that she thinks I am good for him. However, I cannot wrap my mind around what kind of person spreads crap about someone she doesn't even know and actively tries to convince someone to basically not move on from them. Even if she had changed her opinion of me about the situation with her friend after meeting me, there are still all those other little boundary crossing things that she does with him. I would never want to tell my boyfriend to not be friends with her because I know how I felt when guy friends' girlfriends didn't like me, but at the same time, I have never acted like this in front of any of my guy friends' girlfriends. Also, most of his other friends dislike her, making me more secure that I am not being overly sensitive. This is also my first real relationship and my boyfriend's first dating experience ever, so I don't want to make him think that relationships make him cut off his friends. I truly don't know how to handle this situation and would appreciate any advice on how any of you would handle this situation. Sorry again for the long post, I appreciate you read it. OP, I think you need to have a long and serious conversation about it. I'm always against telling a partner who to be friends with, and this one is no exception. You express that she's done lots to him. So telling him to let her go is also a very hard thing to do. However, you have to discuss your boundaries with him and show him how uncomfortable it all makes you feel. I know he does make an effort to push her away, but since that seems not to work, I think he needs to be strict and tell her he's not okay with it all directly. As for your friendship with her, I think you guys are just being civil, but not really friends, or else she'd respect you and your relationship. How to know when to end it. Hello, so I'm considering breaking up with my boyfriend. But I'm not sure if I'm just highly sensitive or if breaking up with him would be the reasonable choice. He, M20, and I, F20, have been together for 4 months and it has been a wonderful time, or more so it was the first 2 months or so. The honeymoon phase is over for me now, and I've just realized I'm more so annoyed by him than happy because of him as of late. He makes inappropriate jokes about pedophilia and other disgusting things that should not be joked about. He has repeatedly said his friend tried to assault him because he hugged him from behind. I've also very clearly expressed my displeasure at such jokes, but he isn't stopping as far as I can see. Also, every time I'm so much as angry or emotional he says I must be on my period, which pisses me off so much, since it feels like he's indirectly calling me hysterical. That just may be because I am sensitive about such matters, so I'm not sure if I'm justified in feeling that way. And today, after him not contacting me at all yesterday, I sent him a message saying I was late, which I never am for work, and he just straight up said, well, you could just have woken up earlier. I must admit that pissed me off too, especially with not having any contact with him for a day and then him being all passive aggressive like this. I wish he could just communicate if there's anything that he's not satisfied with. Now of course it isn't all bad. We know each other well, he's met my family and they've welcomed him with open arms. He's my first really serious boyfriend and thus I feel like I've put in a lot of effort to make sure we could be mature and talk about things if they bothered us. He also picks me up whenever I'm out late so I don't go home by myself. He gives me really considerate gifts so I know he listens to me when I talk about my interests. He gives me chocolate every time he comes over just because he knows I love it so much. But these are all things he does for me, so I'm not sure if our relationship is superficial or not. We celebrate anniversaries, Valentine's Day, and we even gave each other a Christmas gift even though we hadn't been together for such a long time by then. And we've had such fun dates together. Just 2 weeks ago he picked me up spontaneously and we ate takeout and took a walk, just holding hands and talking. That was really nice. But when the good times become fewer and fewer, is it worth it? I really do love him, but I don't want our relationship to become one filled with resentment. And we've already made so many plans for the future. He was going to be my +1 for a friend's wedding. I was going to be his +1 for his friend's wedding too. And I haven't had sex yet, and he hasn't yet either, and we've been having healthy conversations about things like that, and we just both came to the conclusion that we would be each other's first. But I think he may just be a bit too immature still to have a relationship like this, and if this doesn't work out I still want to be his friend. But I don't know if me having second thoughts about him may be a sign that we should take a break or some time away from each other. I do not know and I would really appreciate some opinions here. OP, if you're already this annoyed by him, then I think it is time to leave. By 4 months you should still be in the honeymoon phase, unless he's not the one for you. A commenter mentioned that at 20 she'd have stayed, but at 25 now she'd leave, and I'd say the same. At 28 now and would have left if this early on I wasn't okay with the person's behavior. There are lots of signs for you to already leave. I think by the 3rd to 4th month of a relationship you'd already know if you want a person long term, mostly, unless a person is manipulative and can hide their true selves for long, of course, but what you're describing sound like you're done with him and ready to pack up and leave. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the story as much as I did. Don't forget to add me on Twitter, and check the shirts I post on Teespring if you're interested. Links in the description. Until next time.